Hello, everyone, and welcome to what hopefully will be the final Kubernetes 1.8 Burndown meeting. Knock on wood. This really is wood here. September 27th, Wednesday, 2017. I'm your moderator. Much like the worn down canyons of the Grand Canyon, I'm slowly eroding, but still here, as is the rest of the release team, to see this through. If you are following along after the fact, the release notes and meeting minutes for this are available at bit.ly/Kates18release. And without further ado, I'm going to share my screen and we will go through those things right now. What just happened? Okay. All right. So anybody here from Google able to speak to the power outage in the Kubernetes building?
Yes, so we have a power outage here. But what else do you want to know? I don't know when it's going to come back. We don't have power.
Okay.
Hopefully your laptops are charged.
My laptop is charged, yes. We have enough people with laptop charged here, so
okay.
Don't worry about that.
All right. We'll assume that that's not going to be a release blocker.
I hope it's not a release blocker, yes.
Oh, boy. Okay, so let's go through this. If you've not signed into the document, please follow my lead and do so. Just so I know who's here. And so today, timeline, greenish. We have a final check off on open items. Let's take a look here. So Aaron, can you speak to the blocking test list and the handy spreadsheet that you created, and what does it all mean?
Yeah, sure. I'll share my screen. Oh, wait. Can you stop sharing yours for a second?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Maybe I can share my screen. Here we go. Boom. Okay. What does it all mean? All right, I tried to make a spreadsheet that is color-coded based on what we consider to be the signal strength of various tests. This is based on the issue that's linked in the release notes doc, but I tried to distill it down to slightly fewer things, one line per item. So the legend here is strong tests are thing that strong jobs are jobs we're going to look for 3 passes in a row for. Flaky jobs are jobs that seem to have too many flakes to really effectively get 3 passes in a row in a reasonable amount of time. So we'll be happy if we can see 1 pass in the most recent 3. Noisy jobs are jobs that need a human to go through and actually examine that the test failures that are there are known test failures. And slow jobs are jobs that take way too long to actually get 3 passes in a row. So we may end up ignoring them or at least looking for 1 green. So I went through and I color-coded all of the tests from the release blocking dashboard and from the upgrade dashboard. This was what things looked like as of last night, Pacific time. Mostly good. The only things of concern were that some of the upgrade tests hadn't passed. And I, in the process of doing the same thing, I figured it might be easier to just sort of do a worksheet per sort of check-in. So I plan on continuing this run through, and I'll hopefully have it updated by 11. So that way you can just sort of click back and forth and see, like, are more things go than not go than before, right? Any questions?
Eric, I seek your expert counsel on this.
I will say, like, my TLDR summary, just looking at the summary tabs for the dashboards, is everything seems okay this morning, or everything seems as read as expected.
Yeah, I didn't see anything in there that was particularly new. There was one downgrade test that was exhibiting some new failures. I will try to dig into that, but other than that, with Aaron, at least for the issue you created, it seemed like all of these failures have associated issues. We have some amount of buy-in from people to say, or actually active PRs saying that these are test failures and these are issues with the tests rather than issues with exposing new bugs. So, yeah.
Yep.
Great. That is good news. Let me go ahead and share my screen one more time. So that's one piece of our signal. Let's look at known issues. Nothing in here when I last looked seemed like the known issue is of such severity that we should hold things off, so that's good.
Do we need someone to go through and actually update the release notes with those known issues?
Yes, we do.
I can do that if nobody is volunteered so far.
Well, Radhika and I are on deck to take care of that, unless one of y'all is just champing at the bit to do it.
All yours. All yours then.
I think actually that's Radhika, not me, because I'm still deep in some other stuff. So just credit where credit is due. We'll toss the ball back and forth and hope not to drop it.
Okay.
All right, so Kubernetes. All right, this is the publicly recorded. I am now marking this as not release blocking. We have given this every attention we can, and seems like it's on track. So that puts to bed a release retro item from last time. So I'm really glad to see that improved. All right, test failure issues, and that right now is, it looks like there's one that Eric mentioned that you're going to investigate.
Yeah, other than that, as read as we feel comfortable with, I guess. So.
Okay. Let me take a look here. So let's look at open issues. I went through these earlier and didn't see any that were truly release blocking. That's record keeping. This is now acknowledged as, I just saw the discussion with Justin about moving this to 1.9. So we're going to move this to 1.9. And we're going to leave it as priority critical urgent because they can assess this if they want to do a cherry pick or whatnot. But for right now, it is now out of the 1.8 cadence. That's record keeping. This release blocker is still being discussed. I'm going to let Adam or Mehdi remove the release blocker on that. And then we have two non-release blockers. It's still remaining 1.8. I assume will be in 1.8.1.1. So all issues save for this one, and even that one looks like it's got pretty good support to not be blocking. It looks like we have solid results on all these things. Any questions, concerns, final words on these before we move on?
Jace, can you just put the link to the known issues FAQ issue in the channel just to save Radhika and me one little hunt for things?
Absolutely.
Thank you. Channel, notes, wherever. Oh, it's in the notes. Never mind. Sorry.
Oh, I can still do it. Maybe.
So about that release blocker, we decided to actually add it to non-issues, right?
Well, so there was a little bit of back and forth in the channel, and I just wanted to make sure that was the case.
So the original audit, the original issue with audit was considered a known issue and definitely not a release blocker. The subsequent issue with pod deletion, it would be good to get an ACK on that specifically.
Okay. So Mehdi,
Who do you want me to ping on that? Who's responsible for that?
Typically, it's a scalability team. I mean, I'm happy to speak to the investigation I've done. If I'm not sure whose final call it is, but given that we have similar scale tests that are not encountering this issue, and given that the issue is limited to one particular API call and it is not consistent throughout the run, it doesn't seem like there's a systemic issue that is blocking all deletes all the time or blocking all pod deletions. So this seems like it is not release blocking from my perspective.
Okay.
okay, so Mehdi and Adam. Adam, are you on this call or no? I don't see.
I don't think so. He'll be back at 1 p.m.
Okay. Can you, and Mehdi, can you coordinate with Adam to do whatever needs to be done on this to make sure that it's either not blocking or whatever that is? Because this really gets into the Google territory, and I want to make sure that Google stakeholders are having a say in this. So.
Sure. I'll make sure that we'll update that.
And I'm just going to assume for management purposes that it's handled, so we won't revisit it. But if it does come up again, just mention it in the channel, and we'll handle it there.
Sure.
Great, thank you. Okay, so I have not heard anything yet indicating that we need to hold off on this release as planned. This is our time. We will revisit this again a little later because I want to do a checkpoint around 12 or 1 p.m. Pacific today, just to do a final check. But right now, I am asking us as the assembled release team, do you feel confident that we can move forward with this release tonight as planned with the information that we have as it stands now? And basically, I'm looking for objections.
No objections here.
Okay. Eric, the downgrade test failure, is that potentially blocking?
I'm trying to figure that out. It recently went red, so was passing yesterday and has started failing on more recent downgrade tests. So I'm trying to figure out if any changes that were committed since then might have impacted that or not. From my initial look over, it doesn't seem like there's something that could, but I'll keep looking into that. So my initial hypothesis is that it's not release blocking and some sort of infra issue. If I find something that indicates that it's not, then I'll update everybody.
Okay. So, all right.
Is this the GKE downgrade job?
It is the, yeah, GKE.
Cluster parallel?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, then we're on. We're going to make this happen. This is really pretty cool, exciting, because this is basically, we picked this date 3 months ago and delivered on time on schedule. So that is a testament to the quality of this release team, the quality of the community, and everyone's efforts. Thank you tremendously for this. This was personally important to me because I wanted to see us meet our commitments, and I'm thrilled, almost speechless, which is hard to do. Thank you, everybody. So next week, Retro, we'll co-op the community meeting. We'll also have a follow-up the next day at the same time. Paris Pittman has agreed to be the retrospective facilitator. And so I will pass the baton to her. I will collect retro items from this document, and we will put those into the retro doc. And I will seed the initial PRs for 1.9 release activities, and we will begin that process hopefully next week. Metrics review is exactly as expected. There's no surprises here. Everything is accounted for. Let me make sure that this is still 3 or less. Oh, there's 4 now. Well, we'll sort this out. It looks like this might be a new addition. I think Adam was pretty reluctant to do any more cherry picks since we're trying to let the testing bake. So, all right, these here, any updates, final updates, Mehdi or Sen, on any of these things, or Eric?
Oh, I think
All right. Also exciting.
Still going through the spreadsheet, but if we're going by the metric of 3 passes in a row, another job, Eric, you'll want to keep an eye on is the GCI GKE reboot job in release 1.8 blocking. But I'll post a link to the channel. I'm still not seeing anything that gives me cause for concern here.
Okay. We can, like I said, we can pivot at the last minute if we have to, but let's just keep an eye on it. All right, so documentation and marketing. Believe it or not, we're still tweaking the blog. It should ship today. Yeah. I thought you guys are on the 5th floor. What?
No, I have meetings.
Oh. So let's see. Last minute PRs with open issues. Do you want to talk about this stuff, Jennifer?
I should probably talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one that's about the Cloud Controller Manager reference docs that seems to be on track for today.
Okay.
And then Jennifer has one that's about the workloads API changing to V1 Beta 2. That's on track. And then there's another one. What is that other one? Something that just came in yesterday that's under tech review, and it still has tech review open issues.
Okay.
The reference docs have a problem. The auto-generated reference docs have a problem where the new workloads, apps V1 Beta 2 content in the left nav, it appears way down at the bottom under old API versions, and the old content appears up at the top. And Andrew Chen is currently working on that.
So just so I understand, because I haven't been deeply involved in the way the docs changes roll out in tandem with 1.8, is there an implicit tie between the two events? So when 1.8 goes out, this has to happen exactly at the same time, or is it done by human intervention, or how does that actual mechanism work?
I'll have to check with Andrew Chen about that. He did it last time. My guess is that at some point somebody gave him the go-ahead to publish the docs, and he just did it by merging that release 1.8 branch into master.
Okay. So worst case, 1.8 goes out, Inigo does its business, and then you have to merge a little later because there's some last minute finagling there. Okay. Right. And it looks like, Steve, you're going to be out 2:45 to 4 o'clock-ish. Not a big deal. Just let us know if there's anything we need to handle in your absence. Jennifer, you want to add something?
Oh, just Steve asked me to be available if people had questions during that interval. So I will engage to say, if somebody needs me to tell them that Steve will take care of it when he gets back, I can do that.
Good deal.
And Andrew Chen also said he'd be available during that time.
Great. Okay, release notes.
I guess all y'all know the release notes have been getting a lot of attention in the last 24 hours. Yeah, we're on track. Not sure what else to say. I think that at this point we are agreed that if any more late-breaking SIGs decide to add content, we will just close the PR unmerged. Yeah.
All right.
Perfect. I mean, the ship is still sailing, but we don't have to tell the rest of the world that.
That is true. Okay.
And we're down to the wire with final things. So I'm hoping to have the last of my edits, which is the last big chunk of stuff done right after this meeting. I'm just no longer in multitask mode.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. You know, I had no idea that it was going to be, people were going to be so late delivering stuff like that. I'm going to be doing everything I can to ensure that doesn't happen again.
Well, we've been talking lightly in SIG docs too about the release note specifically, the documentation as well, although Steve has a much better handle on that piece of it than I do. But yeah, I think there are things that we can do going forward. I think there are things, but a lot of it's bigger than release notes. It's larger process.
Yep.
So yeah, Radhika and I are going to put together a retrospective doc.
Cool.
To the release notes. And we'll have help from other doc people too. So.
All right. Cool. All right. Last but not least, we're going to do a quick stand-up at 1 p.m. Pacific in the SIG release channel. So it's pretty informal. It's just I'll be there asking people, hey, what's going on? Has anything changed? What do we need to know? Hopefully it will be a non-event. And also, if things come up, we'll be following those in the SIG release channel. I found out today I can't do my Zoom Hangout thing because Zoom kicks you out after 40 minutes of idle time. So if anybody wants to have an ad hoc meeting or either with me or they need to meet with somebody else and need a Zoom, just let me know and I'll fire up my room and you can use it as you see fit. So we can facilitate conversations better and more efficiently. No more announcements from my end. Anybody else want to add anything before you adjourn? All right, let's go do awesome things and ship this thing. Thank you all so very much. I wish we could have a big party in person, but we'll have to save it for KubeCon, I guess. All right, everybody. Thank you and take care, and I'll see you in the channel.
Good luck, everybody.
Nice job as usual, Jace. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Okay.